Welcome, all players, to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast, where we discuss the latest and greatest in entertainment and pop culture. I'm your host, Dylan Ramirez, and today's episode, I'm joined by the biggest gaming nerd in the universe, my good friend and co-host, Akram. How's it going, Akram?
Very well. And yourself, Dylan?
I'm doing good. Excited to talk about these games coming out.
Oh, me too. Me too. We got a lot to review.
Got a lot of coverage for you guys. So just want to mention our podcast is brought to you by Anchor, which is a free podcast hosting service that distributes to all the major platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, and all the other ones. You can also check out our YouTube channel in the description. In today's episode, we'll be breaking down some of our favorite games and moments from E3 and SummerGameFest 2021. You've got questions and we've got answers. So grab a seat and let's dive into the tea. All right, Akram, you want to start with Summer Game Fest?
Well, yeah. A great show overall. I mean, Jeff Keighley, he always gets the top-notch people to join his events, such as, the Game Awards. We saw Jeff Goldblum here, which is really interesting. I was shocked, actually, that he was here. And he also mentioned the new Jurassic Park game, which I'm not too familiar with those games anyway, but Giancarlo Esposito was there to promote Far Cry, and overall it was a good performance from Weezer as well. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's so underwhelming, the whole thing with Summer Game Fest and E3, but other than that, 50-50 for me. How about yourself?
I mean, I didn't watch too much of it. I did catch the last parts of it. I did see like some of the stuff you posted on Instagram with Giancarlo and Jeff Goldblum. So, I mean, it looked great. I mean, as far as like a kickoff for E3, it looked like they covered their bases. Some things we predicted were confirmed. So, Elden Ring, man, I'm excited.
I know. I was shocked, actually, and apparently like some behind the scenes tea for you guys. Jeff Keighley was sitting on this trailer basically for like a couple of months, maybe even to a year. So, and it was always going to premiere at Summer Game Fest. So I thought it was going to be E3. I think we were talking about like E3, it showing up, but here, and I mean, that's awesome to see some gameplay, see From Software's hard work that they've done. And just in case you guys didn't know, which I'm probably sure you do know, it's written by George R.R. Martin and co-written by the godfather of Souls games, Hidetaka Miyazaki. So it's really, really interesting to see what they can do. I wonder what they could add from both their personal experiences. I'm not too familiar with Souls games, such as you. I know that you were playing Sekiro recently.
From what I've seen, I think other sources have said like this is going to be different from the other Souls games. I mean, you'll be able to jump and move faster than previous Souls games. And this is going to be cross-platform, I think, for Xbox X and S and PS5 and also PC, which I'm excited for.
Awesome.
So it comes out January 19th of 2022. There's going to be a lot of cool weapons you can utilize, and the animations look great. So I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, that's cool. I might check it out. I mean, I'm kind of a wimp with Souls games, but
I mean, who isn't? I mean, Souls games are like, but I mean, I'm used to playing Sekiro, so I'm excited to see what this game has in store.
You mean you're used to being completely beaten up in Sekiro? But no,
just because I hide behind the towers, you're supposed to do that. Stealth is key.
Hey, whatever works for you, whatever tactics is best. I mean, this is exciting.
He's dissing me, guys. He's low-key like coming after me.
I got some other tea, behind the scenes bloopers, maybe one day perhaps. But I mean, it won Game Award for most anticipated game, so everyone's excited about this. Jeff Keighley played the trailer so many times, like at least 10 times. So I'm glad that everyone finally gets to see, From Software's hard work. So very nice. Another thing that they mentioned at Summer Game Fest, which is two. One, I'm not really well versed in these games, but everyone's a big fan of Borderlands games. So Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, obviously developed by Gearbox 2K Games. And the thing is, the cast is pretty top notch. I got Andy Samberg, right? Will Arnett,
cool.
Yeah, Wanda Sykes, and of course the wonderful Ashley Birch. So
there's a lot of like more celebrity involvement now in these games,
which is great. There's
there's another game I want to mention later that has like really cool cast, but like I've just noticed that like with all these new games coming out.
The industry is constantly evolving into something that's being more, prominent in most of people's lives. So that's great. But yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands looks exciting for everyone who's into Borderlands. You know what I mean? It's coming out actually cross gen. You know what I mean? Older gen and new gen, and
Mhm.
PC through the Steam and Epic's Game Store. And it's a full length campaign, which is nice.
Oh,
It's
cool.
not just some like 3 hour thing. I might even come like in a separate disc. So very nice. One last thing I'd like to mention for Summer Game Fest, and then I'll let you tell me the rest of the tea, is Death Stranding's director's cut, which is really, really surprising to see. I did not expect that. Hideo's Bay, basically. So I'm a fan of anything that he produces. I did enjoy Death Stranding. Have you ever played Death Stranding by any chance?
I
Or
have not. I mean, I've seen good reviews about it. I know a couple people that have played it, and they've told me it's a really good game. So one day I might. Is it on PC or is it only exclusive?
it's exclusive to PlayStation, so it's a PlayStation exclusive. I think that
See,
it's
that's why I haven't played it because
yeah,
I
no,
don't
but
have a fucking
but
console.
actually, you know what's the thing? It is on PC because I just realized now that they did like a PC generation update or something like that. And it looks better on PC. I mean, it runs better on PC. And you could have like a wide camera angle too. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
the FOV is really nice for this type of game because everything's about scenery,
Right.
here. So, but the director's cut, they showed a little pre-rendered cutscene,
Mm-hmm.
and it referenced to Metal Gear Solid, obviously because Hideo, which is pretty funny. But I loved it. I wonder what they would put in this game to make it different. I'm sure it's gonna have like a whole bundle of content that was released post launch.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's only gonna come for PS5. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. I got to check more into that. I hope not. I hope other people get chances to play the director's cut. But if it's coming only on PS5, then that means they would have to like put a lot of development and updating the graphics and gameplay and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot, or frame rate. So, but that's exciting. I'm really excited for that. Again, any Jeff Keighley and Hideo Kojima are like really tight. So I wonder if we'll see any more A-listers, as they say. And
Telling you, Akram, you gotta get a collab going on with them.
man, I'm working on it. Yeah, just do petition.org.
You gotta submit
So
your Last of Us documentary, and then
yeah,
that's your gateway.
yeah, I know. Be on a lookout, guys. So is there anything else you want to mention for Summer Game Fest before we move on?
No, I guess we could move on. I mean, Elden Ring was
Yeah,
the only game I was really hyped for. So
yeah.
now we've gotten the potatoes out of the way. Now let's get to the meat. Ubisoft Forward, man.
Pretty interesting. Yeah. I didn't see much of Dance Dance there at all, so that's a plus for me. I mean, we saw the rabbits there, but
Oh,
uh,
Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope.
the crossover. Here's the thing too with this industry, which I think actually The Last of Us has become The Last of Us Part Two at least became a benchmark for people with disabilities, and everybody wants to game. It doesn't matter what background you're
Mhm.
from or disability. So that trailer, they had voiceover explaining the actions that was going on. At first, I didn't understand it. At first, I thought it was like just like a story type of tale that somebody's telling, but no, it's
Mhm.
actually descriptive for people with disabilities or who have impaired
Yeah, I mean,
vision.
that's
So
what
I
I'm loving
appreciated
about
that.
these releases. Like the technology is being like so inclusive
Yeah,
now for like different communities, different, styles of gameplay. I want to
yeah,
mention that Rocksmith trailer that was released. I know this for some people, I thought it was gonna be like a Guitar Hero type of thing, but so Rocksmith is a program or a game that allows you to help you learn guitar, which I'm actually really interested because I've always wanted to play guitar. So I'm excited for the release. I don't know if they mentioned the release date, but it's basically like it helps you. It has like a vast collection of songs. You can practice at your own pace. The only thing I'm worried about is like the subscription.
a lot of people are worried about that for this.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of subscription based games,
Mm.
but I mean, I'll give it a chance. Yeah, other than that, it looks interesting. I mean, other games to mention, I guess the For Honor got an update.
Yeah, I've seen. I dropped off For Honor a couple years ago. I love the gameplay, especially when it's like melee based. So, uh, congrats to the guys who keeps playing For Honor.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. Oh, actually, guys, there's also an update coming in July 6th for Watch Dogs Legion.
I
So if
did see
anybody,
that. I knew you were gonna catch that because I know.
yeah, see, here's the thing. I loved, a lot of people hated it, but I see the thing with these Ubisoft games, sometimes the writing could be mediocre. So Watch Dogs 1, I did like the premise of Aiden Pierce, the whole thing. Watch Dogs 2 was a little weird because you could choose if you want to kill people or not. I just thought that was weird because the character didn't seem like a type of killer. And Watch Dogs Legion is very huge in the setting, and it jumps forward in the future, and it's awesome. But the story was kind of still a little bit mediocre. So for them to bring back Aiden Pierce and he looks more grizzled, it's very interesting to see. I think I might jump back into Watch Dogs Legion. And you also get Wrench, which is a popular fan favorite character. So you got basically Watch Dogs 1 and 2 and those guys' story into this one. So I can't wait to see that. Again, that's coming on July 6th if you bought the season pass. And
Cool,
I also, do you have any, before I begin, because I got a big one here. Do you have any other takeaways from Ubisoft?
Some honorable mentions. Mirage looked pretty good from the game.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
The anniversary. Yeah, there's an anniversary. I wonder if that's going to be a new game or they're going to look. I'm all for remasters because some games they're like so old you have to like get the hardware to play them. I don't know what that's going to be about, or maybe that's just going to be an event. But that's cool. I mean, that's really really nice to see for fans.
And then I guess we should talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Sure. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's funny because I feel bad because I'm dropping off of these Ubisoft games after I kind of pass them. But Valhalla, I did pass. I haven't played Wrath of the Druids, but the new thing they got going on, which everyone's been waiting for, is the Siege of Paris. Very interesting. We didn't get too much information on that. I'm more excited about the future content for the game, but with Siege of Paris, I guess it'll be akin to Viking River raids, something along those lines. Was that
based on like an actual like historical event?
Well, everything from Assassin's Creed is, but like with the Siege of Paris, they were dilly-dallying in Paris. If you watch Vikings from the History Channel, which I absolutely love, go watch it and you'll see.
Yeah.
I love that show. Yeah, I'm mad that they finished, but you got to finish when you can. But
and they mentioned like the Discovery Tour too. It's like for all you history buffs, if you want to just explore like Viking history. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, they're so good. Like this trilogy of the RPG Assassin's Creed is so good at making maps. Because in Egypt, they actually apparently there was like a hidden tomb within one of something from Egypt. I don't know, but they were so detailed like in the game, and it turns out with them not knowing it, it turns out that there was actually a real hidden tomb, and they actually found that recently. So I think they won an award for that. So it's a really cool moment for game developers in general, especially you see that your hard work is so polished. So Siege of Paris, I mean, here's the thing with next gen, and Ubisoft tried to do this with Far Cry 5. They try to put Assassin's Creed Valhalla, in general is a huge game, but the thing is it's huger because you could visit different landscapes. So like Norway, so in England. So now you got Paris, and I think you had Ireland for Wrath of Druids, but I'm not sure how big the map size is. So I'm excited to see what more they could do with the game. I mean, they're going to support it for a long time.
You'll be fighting against the Saxons of England, correct?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Very, very cool. Also, look, here's the thing. I miss OG Assassin's Creed, even though if like a lot of people are on the fence about how good after Assassin's Creed 3, how good the games have been. I understand there's a decline and polish, but I just miss the old way Assassin's Creed used to be. Like if you play Unity now, it's super polished and the gameplay is awesome and the parkour, but I don't like the stuff when they dabble with gods. You know what I mean? So they did that in Origins a little bit.
The franchise is always kind of like cured off of the original games, but
right.
And I mean, it's a shift. If the gameplay was consistent, it wouldn't be too much of a problem,
It's a shift in creative directions. There's a lot of people in and out of the games. But they showed a teaser for Odin, so there's gonna be Odin related content, and that reminds me a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I platinum Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That was the longest time I ever played an RPG, and there was a lot of content that had to do with gods, Fate of Atlantis, and then you get to go to the underworld. So I got a feeling that this is going to be, I mean, Assassin's Creed Valhalla anyway, you get to go to Asgard, you know what I mean? And you get to go to Jotunheim. So I think, I don't know where they will take this, maybe an underworld thing, or maybe they're going to continue the story of the Isu, because that's a little spoiler for anybody that didn't know. But anyway, the game's been out for so long. So the Isu are heavily involved. So Odin is basically Isu, and so I'm really interested to see how they're going to continue that story. But one thing I want to mention too is another game that I'm actually hyped for. I was mad that he didn't sound really hyped for it, but Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
I was trying to save for the last because they
I'm saving
saved that for the very end of Ubisoft. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, Akram's been kind of like dissing me, guys, because I'm not too hyped for it, but it still looks great. I mean, they only showed a cinematic, so it's not much to go off. But
man, they've been working on it for a while. It's a first-person, massive open-world game, and they work closely with James Cameron and the studio Lightstorm Entertainment. So I'm not sure if this is going to be canon towards the story of the Avatar. I don't know. It's going to take place in a Western frontier, so maybe it can be canon without intruding on the events of any film that will come out in the future. But we see new animals there, we see new flora,
and it's expected for 2022, right?
Exactly. And it's only next gen, so next gen hardware only. And you got to push back RDA forces. That brings the question up, where does this take place in the timeline? Is this after the events of Avatar? Because I read the new Avatar comics, and Jake Sully basically is chilling on Pandora, and there's some turmoil with the Na'vi and leftover RDA forces. But I just want to know, why are you still pushing back RDA forces in general? Everyone's supposed to be at peace. So maybe this is a prequel.
It looks more like a prequel, in my opinion. Because I mean, it's Frontiers of Pandora, so it's probably they're trying to colonize before the main canon of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it could, and that's fine too. I mean, it's developed by the Snowdrop engine, so the same engine that was used for the Division. I haven't played much of Division. Like, I played, I think, 1 full year of the Division 1, and with add-ons and DLC, whatever. And it's okay game. I liked it.
I mean, Pandora would be awesome for an open world game, just like exploring it, like all the environment,
of course,
all the creatures and everything. Like, the design is just beautiful artistically.
It's beautiful, but it's a shame. Like, I'm not a big fan of like open world first person games. I'd rather for it to be third person, so I kind of feel uncomfortable. But it looks great. I mean, that's the thing with the next thing I want to mention is Far Cry 6 Season Pass. That's the biggest, they say, like one of the biggest open worlds they've made for a Far Cry game. So I think that's the route they're trying to go. I just want that chicken. There's like this fierce chicken there. I just want to pet at that. But yeah, the season pass is crazy.
Yeah, the villains. Oh my god, Jesus.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be akin to the Shangri-La DLC in Far Cry 4. So that looks awesome. That looks wicked. I can't wait to play as them. I miss Voss a lot. I think that they're going to put actually they are going to put Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon into this. That's a fan favorite, so everyone loves Blood Dragon. That was with Michael Biehn, if you haven't played it before. So that's really interesting. 80s thing. And they also got something going on Netflix too. Their own little anime. Yeah. So, and that's tied into Far Cry Blood Dragon. So
the franchise expands.
Yeah. And again, Far Cry 6 releases on October 7th. It's going to release for new gen and previous gen on PC and Stadia. So is there anything else you want to mention for Ubisoft? I think there's like one more.
You forgot Rainbow Six Extraction.
I forgot.
Drops September 16th of this year, I believe.
Yes.
It'll be 1 to 3 player co-op. You'll be fighting against an alien threat in the Orpheus research base in Alaska. Focuses a lot on teamwork, on strategy. It's cross platforms, I believe.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I haven't played Rainbow Six in a long time. I tried it out once when it was like pretty vanilla. So good for you guys who play Rainbow Six. But I don't know. This is like they're like really straying away. I mean, they've done events before with like aliens and stuff, because I've seen that, but they're really straying away from whatever Rainbow Six is. and it's becoming kind of like this Overwatch-esque type of storytelling.
Mhm.
And I mean that's now the trend, with like Apex, Overwatch, now Rainbow Six, or
Well,
Call of Duty
the
even.
key objective, I think, is this game is extraction. So you'll be trying to get your teammates out of hotspots as well as fighting the different alien species like the grunts. I took a couple notes on those. Like some of them are grunts, the reachers, and the apex. I think is the boss.
Oh, okay,
One.
interesting.
You'll be
That's really
also
interesting.
using different like arsenals. You'll be using drones for like reconnaissance and infiltration. So
Right.
it looks really interesting. I might get into it.
The premise, yeah, I mean, and if you could squad up with people, I mean, I'm sure it's plenty of competitive stuff in there too as well. So
Right.
it looks interesting. I like the design wise of it. It's pretty original. So yeah, I mean, that's our takeaway for Ubisoft Forward. If you guys have any more stuff that you want to mention, just mention in the comments below if you're watching
Yeah,
on
sorry
YouTube.
if we don't get to your favorite game, guys. There's just so much to cover. We have like Akram has like 11 notepads full of notes. So
Hey, we got tastes in certain
don't
games
cancel
too.
us.
Yeah, I know.
Moving on to Xbox and Bethesda showcase.
Whee!
Woo! Good lord, they gave us like a CVS receipt. Just like,
Yeah, I know.
So let's start off with Starfield.
Most importantly, Starfield. Yes, 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 yes. Man, everyone has been waiting for this game just like they have done for Elden Ring. And it's a teaser trailer. That's fine. I am pleased with it though. And I'm pleased with some interviews that Todd Howard has done and some of the writing team has done with game journalists over the past few days. And what do you think about it? What do you think?
The trailer was like super cinematic. I loved
Right.
it. I mean, I wish we would have got like some beta gameplay or something.
Mm-hmm.
It looks clean, and then releasing on Xbox X and S, right?
Yeah, Xbox exclusive. Let me tell you, I am not an Xbox guy. I have an Xbox Series X. I'm dying to get more games to play exclusively in Xbox Series X. So I'm really, really satisfied that this is just an Xbox exclusive game. And of course, you can play it on PC if you got Game Pass. So
Mm-hmm.
all around, I think they definitely deserve a big AAA game to just be, Xbox exclusive like that. And apparently Todd Howard too called it the Han Solo simulation, which I'm
You know what
really
it
interested
reminds
to
me of?
see.
It reminds me of that. I was just thinking about when I watched the trailer. Remember what that episode of Love, Death, and Robots with Michael B.
Mm.
Jordan?
Oh yeah, it
It
reminds me
kind
of
of makes me of
that.
that.
The aesthetic,
If
yeah.
it's like that, I'll play the fuck out of it. I don't care.
Oh my god. I
Um,
kind of like felt like I don't know if anyone has seen this movie, Ad Astra with Brad Pitt. I was thinking I felt like some similar energy from that as well.
mhm.
But apparently
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to mention it'll be dropping on November 11th of 2022.
Which 2022. Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
then
So that makes sense.
it was in the trailer, right? 11 11
Yeah,
22.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Don't
that
at me,
makes
guys.
it makes sense though. It does make sense because then that's why they would only show a teaser trailer. 'Cause I was thinking if it's gonna release this year,
Yeah,
they
why
might as
not
well
show
show
a
some
trailer, right?
gameplay,
Yeah.
right?
So
Because that's what they did with Elden Ring. I mean, they say get in a ship, explore the galaxy, and the premise, somewhat that we hear, is the Constellation is the last group of space explorers, like NASA meets Indiana Jones meets the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, one of
mhm.
your favorite throwback movies that we did in a previous episode. And there's gonna be multiple factions as you could expect from a Bethesda game, right? As they've done in
Mhm.
Far Cry or Skyrim. And it's set 300 years ahead of time. So of course that makes sense. So very interesting. I
Long
mean,
time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
yeah, the look looks very utilitarian. You know what I mean? It definitely looks very
Mhm.
realistic from what I could tell. So I'm excited. Oh, you get to go to different planets apparently too. So this game is going to be huge. So
Yeah,
for
man.
sure, did they say it's going to be previous gen or next gen? I think it's only for next gen,
I
which
heard it's
makes
gonna be next
sense.
gen from what I remember.
It makes sense because if it's such a huge game,
I
you
mean,
don't want to.
2022, so probably it makes sense. So
Yeah, that's my prediction. That I think 2022 onwards, 2023, like
mhm.
a lot of last gen stuff is kind of die off because people want to show off the hardware. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Who knows? Maybe it'll
really,
end up
really
on
promising.
Pandora.
Maybe, hopefully, we will see. What else do you got for us, Dylan, on the Xbox
Stalker
showcase?
2 looked really good from that gameplay trailer.
Man, I thought that was another Metro game at first. I was like so hype. I was like, oh yeah, I never played a Stalker game. I don't know about you. It looks
Yeah, I've
really
never
good
played the
though.
first one, so I can't tell you much. But I mean, this is set in Chernobyl.
Mm.
That monster scared the fuck out of me. I'm not gonna lie when I watched
Yeah,
it
right.
because I felt it was like Stranger Things. It was like you see that monster just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought it was Metro. I was like, oh, they're doing new things with Metro, or it's a reboot.
Right,
Yeah, that's
but the
cool.
music is really good, and
It
it's
is.
on Xbox and PC and next gen, coming April 28th of 2022. Looks really good. I'm gonna
Very
have to learn
interesting.
Russian for that, but
Yeah, they just don't put any subtitles or anything.
right,
It's all
they
Russian.
just assume you know it, so
No, and like the UI cues is just in Russian,
right.
Russian lettering, so you can't tell.
Back for Blood by Warner Bros.
That's cool. I never
Um,
played Left 4 Dead, so I don't know if I'm gonna try this. I'm interested in seeing what they got going on. It looks pretty enticing from what I could tell.
It's gonna be 4-player co-op. There's gonna be different modes: swarm mode, player versus player, and human versus zombie, which is really cool. So you'll have some diversity. And that,
Player versus player too. That's cool.
yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy. So, and then they'll
Hmm.
drop on October 4th around Halloween, probably. So,
Makes
of
sense.
this year. Contraband looks really interesting. Did you see that?
Contraband. I kind of slept on that, to be honest with you.
I mean, there wasn't much
But
to go on, but I like the trailer though. It's
yeah.
gonna be co-op, Xbox exclusive, and PC. Open world, which is interesting.
Mm.
I'm wondering if this is gonna be like a heist style game or like some kind of Tomb Raider style game
Yeah, I
or
was
Uncharted kind of. I don't
I
know.
peeped at it. It looks really interesting. I'm like, it got my curiosity. I just slept on it for some reason, but yeah, I mean, was there like any game before that, or
I don't think so. That's why
like in
I
the
think
whole
this is gonna
series?
be like an
Okay,
original. So that's
okay,
why I'm wondering like what the style of it is gonna be.
okay.
Um, Time will tell. And then
Mm.
Sea of Thieves. I used to play that game. Pirate's Life
Ooh,
comes out
yeah,
and introducing Jack Sparrow, which is really cool.
yeah. Good,
I
good
didn't think Disney would
crossover.
be involved in this, but I mean they're making their mark. So
Yeah, they're all over now. That's great. That's
so
great property to get in there.
I'm gonna have to replay that with Matt because I fell off that game for a while. But yeah, a lot of pirate games have been really popular these days. I'm
Which is
guessing
good.
Black Flag started it all, but
Yeah, absolutely. That looks good. I mean, it's not my cup of tea, but it has a huge fan base, so
huge
I'm
community. Yeah.
glad. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
So that will be dropping on June 22nd of this year. Um, Yakuza Like a Dragon is available now.
That's the funniest trailer I've ever seen in my
Yeah, it
life. I
looks so
was
cheesy,
like,
but it looks
what's
fun.
going on? I know. I felt like I was on a different planet. I was like,
I
what's
felt like
going
I was
on here?
watching like the Drunken Master or something.
Yeah, I know. If only real life was like this.
Right. I guess you want to take this next one. Battlefield, man.
Battlefield, yes,
2042.
yes. We saw some alpha gameplay here. I got some tea on that. It looks really good. It looks really good. Everything is very vertical this time around, which I'm glad they're going back to verticality because it's so fun to just experiment with when everything's vertical. There's actually going to be 3 game modes. So there's going to be All Out Warfare, which has Conquest and Breakthrough, Hazard Mode, which is squad based, and we don't know what's the third one, but it's not a battle royale.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's going to be huge because there's going to be AI teammates that will fill the battle lobby.
Ooh. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that seeing that. Yeah.
128 players. So I mean, that's something. That's something to
And
see.
it's in pre-alpha, right?
It is, yes, but it'll actually release pretty soon in July 22nd. Oh, I'm sorry, not July 22nd. That you could see more of that in EA Play actually. So don't sleep on July
Mm-hmm.
22nd EA Play.
I have
We
October 22nd is the
yeah,
release
it's
date.
October 22nd, 2021 on previous and new gens and PC.
Mm-hmm.
Used with it's developed by the Frostbite engine, of course. Uh, I'm disappointed though. There's no campaign. I usually play like I'm like one of those guys that like to play Call of Duty
Mm-hmm.
or Battlefield just for the campaign, and then I dip into the multiplayer, but like I keep getting my ass beat, so I kind of just dip after a
Right.
couple of weeks maybe. But yeah, we've seen some leaks as of recently for unique specialists. So there's gonna be 10, but there's 4 that we know of, which is recon, assault, support, and engineer.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously have their own unique abilities to help out the team and by
The
support or
glide
whatever.
suits look really cool in that too.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's meant for everybody like every specialist, because I think some specialists will only have a parachute, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know. Especially like mixed in with the dynamic weather, that
Mm-hmm.
that looks legit. Like I
Yeah,
really,
man. I felt like I was watching like Mission Impossible.
something like that. I know it's
And
gonna have a battle pass. I'm sorry.
and I was just gonna mention the new maps too. Did you see
New
the rocket
maps,
ship one?
yes. Yes, I have. It's gonna be taking place in South Korea, Singapore, Egypt, Qatar, and Antarctica, the grandfather of big maps here. So
Ooh.
it will be huge. And I'm excited for it. Again, I'm excited. There's gonna be story woven into it, right? It's not just gonna be it's not gonna be like Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So there's some story woven into it. I think it's gonna be more akin to Apex Legends probably. But
Mhm.
so
And
really,
you
yeah.
mentioned Battle Pass too.
Yeah, there's gonna be a battle pass as you would expect with most of these types of multiplayer games where you gotta pay and then so we'll see how that goes. A lot of people have bad experiences with battle passes. Halo, the next game that I want to speak about, actually will have a battle pass that won't expire, so that's good to hear. That's pretty fresh. So Halo Infinite.
A lot of footage of that.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
it's their
Yeah.
baby, so we all knew that was coming. So
Oh man, the Halo helmet's literally inside the hardware from the Xbox. So that's a little Easter egg. But yeah, obviously developed by 343, but this was more of a showcase for the multiplayer. So it's free multiplayer with
Mhm.
cross-play and cross progression. So that's good. There's going to be a battle pass, but it never expires, as I mentioned before, which is great because there's going to be a lot of customization this time around for armor, weapons, and
That
vehicles.
samurai armor, man, that looked fucking
I
dope.
knew you would like that. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, whoa,
As soon as I saw
that
that, I
look.
was like, take my money. Shut up and take my money.
I know. I mean, there's a variety and vanity here this time around, so that's really good. So I think they're just
Mhm.
trying to build this healthy community where you will play for a long time. You know what I mean? That's why the battle pass never expires, apparently.
Right. I mean,
And
it's 20th anniversary, so they're really trying to bring back their fan base. So
right, exactly. You get to use grappling hooks here as you would in
I
the
noticed that. That
campaign.
looks interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cool
And I think they
experimentations that you could
mentioned
do.
it's the largest map. I think 120 frames per second.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna release in holiday 2021. There's gonna be an academy mode, so that reminds me a lot of Gears 4 and 5. I believe Gears 5 had like this training thing that you could do
Mhm.
just to get around the control. So this is gonna have the same thing. So that's nice because I am definitely a noob. Even if I played all the campaigns from Halo, but like multiplayer, I don't touch because I know I'm gonna get my ass beat. But yeah, I can't wait for this to see what's going on with Master Chief and maybe I'll dabble around with I don't know, multiplayer. Hopefully people
Mhm.
don't talk shit to me while I'm playing. But yeah, so that and also you're gonna have a new vehicle which is called the Razorback vehicle. Pretty
Mhm.
self-explanatory, and it's gonna be delivered by Pelicans. So like OG Halo, it doesn't just spawn, it's delivered by Pelicans. So really cool
Okay.
stuff.
Interesting trailer for it was Infinite too, right?
Yeah.
They're basically finding Cortana. Because
Yeah, I felt
she was
sad when he
deleted.
switched her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I love the graphics so far. So
Who was that AI that he was talking to?
I don't. We don't know because it's just some random AI. Cortana became bad in Gears 5, bad-ish. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so she's AFK, as the young kids say, and she's basically out of the picture for now. We'll see what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? There's not much going on for the story. We don't really know as
Mhm.
much. So this was really focused on the multiplayer. So which I'm glad we needed. I guess fans need more on multiplayer because that's such a big thing for Halo games. So yeah.
Um, Doom Eternal series updates June 29th
Are
for
you
Series X.
serious?
Yeah, they mentioned it for
Oh, what's
Series X and S.
okay? What is it? I maybe it's
Um,
just probably
Probably just bug fixes, I would imagine. But
yeah. Yeah, I'm disappointed we didn't see anything on that, but more on that later. But
mhm. One I didn't want to mention was Replace. That looked really cool.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
The
yeah.
art
That
style for that looks so fucking like insane. It's like it's pixelated, but it's in the 2D format.
right.
But the visuals look and the lighting looks really good.
Yes, it does. It's amazing. They're using the hardware well, so I
Mhm.
like that. Another indie I would mention actually is 12 Room. I no 12 minutes. Pardon me. It has Daisy
Oh yeah, that's what I
Ridley,
was gonna mention
William
when because I
Dafoe.
was when I was talking about the voice actors, James
Yeah,
McAvoy and Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, and William Dafoe.
So
It's
that
just
looks
three
interesting.
characters here. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of branching choices that the player can make, and every
Yeah,
time you fail.
it's a murder mystery. So you'll be playing as, well, basically the premise is you're in this room with your wife, and then suddenly this cop comes in and arrests you, and then you're basically arrested for a murder. But then it's in a time loop, so you'll be trying to find clues and solve the case of the murder. So that looks really interesting to me. I want to play that.
Yeah, I'm not a big guy and like playing indies all the time, but I guess I gotta diverse myself more, and so I'm glad we got some nice options
Hmm.
for this year. So, and I'm glad, I was gonna mention that to you. I'm glad that they're basically putting a layout of the show
Hmm.
in indies and also big title releases, just to show that everything is equal. So that's good for the industry.
Hmm.
So
Just a couple more games I want to mention for my last big one. Elder Scrolls Online for Series X and S, and
a staple.
Hades. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Hades
yeah.
coming August 13th of this year. That looks really good.
I gotta play that. That's a roguelike, so
Hmm.
that's cool. I gotta play that. I mean, I think it won tons of awards too, so good quality.
Hmm. And then finally, just want to drop the last thing that they mentioned was the Redfall vampire shooter game.
Very interesting. So that's made by Arcane, I believe. We don't know much about it, but I mean, it's a new IP, so we'll see. I don't know if it's like co-op based. We don't know. We don't really know much
Hmm.
about it.
It
I
was
like the
mostly
aesthetic.
cinematic, but I don't think they
It's just a
really.
reveal. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it reminded me a lot of uh well, I can't think about it right
Maybe
now.
think of like Overwatch or like something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Prey. That's the word. It
Oh,
reminded me of
Prey. Yeah, I
Prey.
love that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Because Bethesda. Oh,
Hmm.
actually, I probably will disappoint a lot of people if I didn't mention this too. Outer Worlds 2.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
a big
forgot about.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was announced. I still have to pass. I'm like slacking, guys. I'm so sorry. I had to pass Outer Worlds 2, but that looks cool. I love the whole. It's made by Obsidian, so
Hmm.
I trust them. In Outer Worlds 2, I wonder if it's gonna be released for both generations of consoles, and I don't know. It looks great. It looks really great, and everybody's excited, I guess, about the new Forza Horizon 5 as well. It's kind of a tech
Oh
demo.
my god, the that looks amazing. Like I'm not
Yeah,
even a
it
huge
does.
Forza fan, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically scanned Mexico for that game.
They scan everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's when you get a Forza game in E3, that's like trying to showcase the hardware, of that era.
Hmm.
And so they took footage, and I think you told me that in 12K cameras. That's
Yeah,
that's
man, the
that's
HDR
insane.
cameras. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like down,
It does.
they like the graphics are like down to the needle. They said for like all the
Oh my
environments.
gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, I suck at driving in these games, but I have the previous one, so I'll try this one out.
Hmm. And I
Yeah,
think they mentioned you can like you can drive with friends too, like online.
it's like an open world, like drop in, drop out thing scenario, I believe.
And I think there's a campaign too. I think they mentioned.
Sort of, yeah. They
Yeah.
they like pseudo campaign. I mean, it's not well nuanced in storytelling,
Mm.
like previous racing games like Need for Speed or something. But yeah, there's a subtle story woven in between.
Hmm.
So
All right. Well, I guess that covers that. Moving on to Square Enix. I know you want to talk about the big one that dropped.
I'm gonna just go say it right away. Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians
Woo!
of the Galaxy. Yes, I got a bunch of tea for you guys. That is, I wasn't expecting that. I think we mentioned that in our predictions episode. I wasn't expecting a whole ass gameplay and
Yeah,
boy,
man.
I pre-ordered that shit day one. Like when they said, I was like, what?
You
So they,
pre-ordered day zero. Like,
bro, they low key has been working on it all this time, and without having it leaked. That's just insane, and I'm so happy. I really love the redesigns. I don't know, you
mhm.
being like with a background in graphic design, do you like the redesigns? A lot of people are
It's a
like
cool
kind of,
mix of like the
yeah.
MCU and then like its own original take. Some I like Gamora. She's very loyal to the comics. Drax looks kind of more like towards Dave Batista in MCU.
Mhm.
Star-Lord's jacket, I think, is really cool. That's a unique design. I'm thinking like, well, maybe eventually they'll put like MCU skins for DLC.
So they will actually day one. So when a game comes out, there's gonna be MCU skins for it. And if you pre-order the Cosmic Deluxe Edition, so everything, there's no microtransactions, right? You get what you get. So I think that's the model with Square Enix coming forward. It's like with Outriders, you know, everything's in the box. That's it. You know, there's no more paid content or whatever. So that's the thing with the Cosmic Deluxe Edition. You could basically get the Steelbook case, Sunlord outfit, which is an early unlock, so you can still unlock that in the game. The City's Lord early unlock, and also you get the soundtrack, which is interesting, and a mini art
as soon
book.
as I heard Joan Jett in the background, I was like, "Fuck, I gotta play this game."
That is cool. Yeah, they had in the trailer Bonnie Tyler holding our for a hero, hot chocolate, everyone's a winner, and Joan Jett, bad reputation.
They should have it
That was
like
awesome.
like the songs like somehow like amplify your powers or something. I think that would be really cool.
Now they do. That's a gameplay feature actually. So you get to have like a super move, and we seen that in the trailer, the gameplay trailer from Star Lord, and he also gets to. I'm disappointed we don't get to play as other Guardians, but he gets to control them and do attacks using the D-pad. So that's
yeah, I'm
all right.
disappointed too, but I mean, it is single player, third person, so I do like that.
Yeah,
but you can
I
still,
like
yeah,
that
like you can
too.
still control like you can have the Guardians like their actions, I think, right?
Yeah, and it's completely interactive. Like you could even go near a jukebox, right? And in the Milano, and you get to talk to different Guardians. And there's plenty of so when they drop you into a mission, it's completely open ended. So you could travel around and see different mysteries, probably collectibles, and you get to talk specifically to certain Guardians of the Galaxy members. So that's nice. The main villain is Lady Hellbender. If you Marvel fans know her, Marguerite Hellbender from the comics. So very interesting. I don't know much about her. I believe she's a Kree. I believe fought She-Hulk in one of the issues
At
back
first, I
then.
thought we were getting Ronin because I saw her weapon, and I was like, "Oh, are we getting like Guardians
I
one?"
don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe down the line. Apparently, they've been the Guardians of the Galaxy for about couple of months, like half a year. It something bad happened. It's set years after a massive galactic war, and so they have to come together and they have to basically do odd jobs as you would expect, and hopefully they will win. We don't know.
Yeah, this game
But
reminds
yeah,
me of like Mass Effect a lot, like just having your choices and then that
mhm.
affecting the overall gameplay.
Yeah, it's definitely the player choice uh set up, you know what I mean? Other songs will appear as 80s classics. They said that they will actually have Iron Maiden, Kiss, New Kids on the Block, Rick Astley out of all people. So
Of course,
probably it ends with Never Gonna Give
right?
You. And they're gonna have more. So and just for you guys who's
They should
worried
have
about
just did
streaming
that.
it,
Like for the trailer, they should
they
just
should
put
have.
Rick Astley just play.
They should have. But it was like psych, there's no Guardians of the Galaxy game. No, but just in case everyone's worried about streaming it, it's definitely going to be there will be an option to turn off music, of course, for DMCA scares, so that's good for everyone who's going to stream on Twitch. And what
And that
more?
drops October 26th of this year, I believe.
Yep, 2021, and it's developed by Eidos Montreal, publisher Square Enix. And disappointing thing for me is it's not connected to Marvel's Avengers universe, which I'm like, you know, I'm kind of disappointed because you could start off by building your own Marvel's Avengers world. You know, I mean, they're nowhere near Earth anyway, so I don't know why they decided to do that. It's its own original story, so they're not talking to Crystal Dynamics whatsoever. It's strictly Eidos Montreal.
Well, it's like the Gotham Knights and the Suicide Squad thing. It's just like, why not just like combine? Well, I guess like having their own identity is kind of cool because you can play around with more stuff.
I guess so, but like, and I guess they kind of want to steer away a little bit from Marvel's Adventures. So since it's being, you know, bad received, but yeah, oh, they have a huddle mechanic too. I just want to mention that's pretty interesting where you get to talk to group members and have music playing in the background. So it's very nuanced from what I could tell from a lot of things on Twitter that I've been reading. It's really nuanced and very packaged to the maximum. So you don't have to pay for anything in the future. So that's nice. So yeah, that's one thing that oh, they also have a novel coming out which is called No Guts No Glory. That's a prequel novel, so I guess they're gonna go hard on lore for this game, which I'm glad. And the llama, if anybody wondering, her name is Cammy. So if anyone
I
was
think
wondering,
Cosmo's in this too, right? The dog.
Cosmo and what's her name? I forgot her name. Mantis. Yes,
Oh,
Mantis
Mantis.
too.
How can we forget my baby?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
It was like voiced by Karen Fukuhara. You know I'll be in that shit.
bro. Yeah, it looks really great. I can't wait. There's this Square Enix Presents event has it started off pretty strong with Marvel content, So we got Black Panther War for Wakanda for Marvel's
Mhm.
Avengers. That's gonna be releasing in August. I'm disappointed they didn't show more gameplay, right? Because I feel like we've earned that as because I'm like kind of hardcore Marvel's Avengers fan, even if it has its issues, Now I'm like hopping
Mhm.
on every now and then, but I wish we seen more gameplay. You know what I mean? Rumor has it actually that they changed the original iconic suit design that was leaked earlier on Twitter from Backlash. So I think Crystal Dynamics really likes to take everyone's criticism and try to fix the game wherever they can. But I think the problem is really it's just the game is built on uh a certain path or a blueprint, you know what I mean? And you're gonna have
Mhm.
to take at least a year to change it completely. So I don't know. I hope Black Panther War for Wakanda will do a lot for the game. I hope it brings a lot of people back, but
Mhm.
we will see.
I'm hoping
What did
it's a
you?
lot more different from Avengers.
Yeah, same. What did you think about the design for Black Panther suit?
I think it stayed pretty loyal to MCU.
Right.
I thought Claw's design was interesting because his that giant form he had, that's loyal to the
That was
comics.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a giant form in the comics, or it's just his
No, that
look.
in the
That
trailer,
look. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when
I
he
know.
was
I
fighting
know.
that giant,
Right,
like
right,
that's
right. I
his
know.
actual look. Like he
Right, right,
looks kind
right,
of like androidish in like the comic book. So I thought that was a
right, right.
cool little Easter egg for Marvel fans.
Yeah, that was
Um,
cool. I mean, we also saw Dori Milaje and Royal Bodyguards. Shuri, she makes an
Shuri.
appearance, and
Hmm.
Okoye. I'm not too sure if Okoye was in the comics or she's just an original character from the movies, but she made an appearance, and that's cool. So they said we'll see more in blogs and a showcase of outfits, which they've done for the Hawkeye DLC. And I'm one that actually likes the designs that they do for this game. A lot of people they kind of dog on it, but I really do enjoy their design. So I'm expecting that in August. I can't wait to play it. And
And no additional cost, they said, for this expansion, right?
everything is free. But their marketing or their business strategy is the marketplace. And a
Hmm.
lot of people are saying they have to do a better job then to give us original outfits, not just recolorings or
Right.
reusing assets. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, they have some cool suits in there, but I don't know. They got to do a better job, and I really hope they up the ante. Because actually, in June 22nd, they definitely have to up the ante because they're gonna have the Cosmic Cube event, and
Ooh.
that's cool. Monica, they're tracking down Monica's secret weapon following cosmic energy,
Hmm.
and they have to fight through a facility. So I know everyone's tired of fighting through hive facilities. I am too, but that's what you're gonna have to do to get to the final chamber and face Monica, who is now powerful from the
The
cosmic
scientist
cube energy.
supreme.
Yes, 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 yes. And also, they're gonna have a thread event, which will start on June 24th and end on July 8th. So we'll see, man. Look, like again, I've been with it since day one. I'm surprised how the quality was. I know that COVID hit hard on the industry. Everyone had a struggle and everyone had delays and whatnot. But I just feel like the overall blueprint of gameplay was a miss. And they're trying to rectify things and remedy it by adding player feedback and like, oh yeah, maybe Cap should jump higher like this or smash through glass doors.
Hmm.
That's great. They're listening, but there's core fundamentals that I need to,
I think
fix.
the pandemic has taught them, like, really take your time with these games and, listen to what the players want.
Yeah, everything is rushed, and I understand that because you see, like this industry is such a competitive market, right? And so if you don't get something out now, everyone's gonna be playing another game. So I get that, but quality definitely everyone's being more aware now and woke. That quality definitely is way
Hmm.
more important than just having it come as soon as possible. A la
Exactly.
Cyberpunk
The
2077.
technology is there. It's just, focus on the quality. That's all you can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna ask you actually, do you have any other things for
Uh,
Square Enix that
I
you want
mean,
to mention?
shitload of Final Fantasy reveals.
So you're a Final
uh,
Fantasy boy, huh?
I'm actually not a fan of Fantasy Boy,
Oh,
but
okay, but
Strangers of
everyone else is.
Paradise. Yeah.
Okay.
Strangers of Paradise, 2022. A couple anime games. Legend of Mana looks cool. That
Mhm.
comes June 24th on PC, Switch, and PS4. And a couple mobile games, Hitman Sniper and Near Reincarnation. So I represent I represent little.
Boy.
Listen, well, I play Genshin on mobile too, so it's like I gotta stand up
Damn.
for for everybody.
Stand up for the little guys.
Right.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, so what's your overall reaction to the whole event of E3 and Summer Game Fest?
Overall, I mean, like it's just like I said, like pandemics taught us a lot. Where they're really focusing on story and gameplay, and I think we're getting a lot of cool originals,
Yeah.
as well as some cool sequels too. So, and I'll mention that later because Nintendo Direct had some cool stuff too. But I mean,
Ooh.
I'm excited for the next 2 years. I think we're gonna get a lot of good content going.
Yeah, I hope so. I felt like it was kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you. I mean, there were, bombshell drops of title announcements, granted, but
Mhm.
still, I just felt like there could have been more. And I think it's just because of the coronavirus. It really withheld potential of showcasing awesome games that we've expected. But yeah, tell us about Nintendo, man.
Well, actually, before that, I want to mention the PC gaming show actually mentioned Dying Light 2, but I think
Oh,
we
they
already
have.
knew. I think you already mentioned this in the previous episode. It drops
Yeah,
December 7th of this year.
right.
So for Nintendo, they did just reveal Breath of the Wild sequel, which I did predict in the last episode.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm excited for that. It looks good. They didn't show much gameplay, which is understandable because it's dropping in 2022. But there's gonna be a lot more than the previous game. It's gonna be floating islands, skydiving, and new powers. I'm surprised they haven't added dungeons though, but they said it's gonna have a lot of concepts from the older Zelda games.
Uh-huh.
And I did mention this also in the previous episode. The Switch Pro, according to one source, it's in production of next month and supposed to be released September, October, which I'm surprised they didn't hold off till holiday.
Right.
But it's going to have an
That's
updated CPU and memory, 720p screen, and 4K resolution. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so it looks crazy. Only thing I'm not excited for is the price because obviously it's going to be upgraded in the price too. So
Yeah, man. How much do you think it'll be?
they're speculating it's going to be in the 400 range.
Oh my gosh. Just
Yeah.
like what is it, like
So
a
yeah, it's
full
like
blown?
I know it's like, is it really going to compete with like Xbox and like?
You know what it is? It's I get that the hardware they're updating, but it's really the titles that they have to release to compete. You
Mm,
know what I mean? But their thing is all handheld. That's why PlayStation dropped the Vita. You know what I mean?
right.
Because Nintendo has that market. So I guess that's the main selling point. But I wanted to ask you. So for the Legend of Zelda stuff, so the new gameplay additions like skydiving and stuff, you didn't have that in Breath of the Wild?
I can't remember because it's been a while since I played it, but I think they did in the last one. There was just a lot. Like the difference between like Breath of the Wild and Genshin is like in Breath of the Wild, like you're a one man army basically, so you have like
Mm,
um a lot of abilities and powers and weapons and stuff.
cool.
But I'm excited. Anything else you
That's
wanted to
nice.
mention?
Well, I slept on the Capcom thing, but
I think
cheers
we
to
all
you
did.
guys. Cheers to you guys. You didn't we don't have a new Marvel versus Capcom apparently.
Mhm.
So rest in peace. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm somewhat disappointed, but at the same time too, we're getting pretty awesome games coming in holiday season anyway. So and a
Mhm.
lot of stuff coming in 2022, which is interesting. So I predicted before that any DC or Warner Brothers related game wouldn't make it wouldn't show up.
Mhm.
So that makes sense because they basically announced that the new Harry Potter game, which we mentioned back then, wasn't going to be an E3. So understandable, disappointed, but I feel like a lot of these developers are holding their cards close to the chest, in terms of secret projects that they're working on. They
I
don't
mean,
wanna
they
really,
they just don't want to pull a cyberpunk, man. They just want to, really
Yeah.
flesh it out, and then when the time comes, because they know we want it,
Yeah.
they know we want these games, and we're foaming at the mouth. So
Yeah.
they're just holding off and making sure every detail counts, and then when the time comes, that they're gonna get the reward. Well, I think that's all the coverage we have for today. So thank you guys, as always, for listening. If you like our discussion and you want to hear more topics like this, be sure to follow us on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitter. As always, we appreciate our listeners, and we hope you continue to support our show. So until next time, thanks for having lunch with us.
Thank you, guys.